Hey, this is Notser, and we're talking British battleships. Wargaming just showed off a sneak peek, tiers 3 through 10. They went through each one, gave you a rough idea of their speed, firepower, their AA protection, their maneuverability, their concealment value, roughly. They discussed the idea that tiers 3 through 6 are heavily armored, 7 through 10 have the best concealment in class, and that the Warspite heal is going to be a trait of the British battleships. They didn't go into any more specifics, and that's kind of frustrating. But someone who might pay attention to the British battleship development will notice that there is a ship missing. HMS Nelson. Now, HMS Nelson is a very weird ship. It is reminiscent of the Izimo and the Dunkirk, so it has forward-facing guns. There's nothing in the rear. What does that mean? Well, she plays like nothing else in the line. And we've learned this with the Dunkirk, and we've learned this with the Izmo. Just to keep you up to date, this was the last stats that they released on HMS Nelson way back when they were teasing it. 23 knots in the water, 9 406mm guns, 152mm guns, and then AA protection, right? But this is really why it's probably not in the main line. It is an awkward ship. It just doesn't fit in any playstyle at all. The Izmo is the same boat. The Dunkirk is the same boat. These are ships that just don't have a line dedicated to them. And I think Wargaming really don't want you to work your way up the British battleship line and then play something completely different. That's what happened with the Izmo, and the Izmo for a really long time was irrelevant. And that's unfortunate for the Izmo. I think the ship is fun to play, it's different, and it doesn't use any of the traits that you spent 8, 9 tiers working your way up learning, but it's definitely effective in the right scenario. So HMS Nelson, if it's not in the main line, how are we going to get it? It's going to be a premium. Oh great, we have to spend $40, $50 or your regional equivalent. That doesn't sound great. You told me something good's going to happen. Well, HMS Nelson will be for free XP. Now, I don't know the exact number. I think it's around 300,000 free XP. Give or take 100,000. Which is roughly a little bit over what you would spend to get to, I think, tier 7 is what she's going to end up being in. Or tier 8. And that's unfortunate. But I understand Wargaming's mentality. They really don't want you picking up something so cheap and getting up to tier 7 so quick that it's the equivalent XP that you would just earn by playing the line. It is so easy to just skip to a high tier and be bad. And every player in this knows there's far too many bad players already at high tier who are super passive, don't play the objective at all, have no interest whatsoever of helping the team. You get the idea. So HMS Nelson, premium for free XP. Why is free XP good? Well, it allows you to do one of two things. You can earn the free XP, or you can buy the free XP, and you can have a combination of the both. So let's assume you've been playing the game, you've got some free XP, and you've been using signal flags to increase that XP earned. You could get anywhere from 50 to 100,000, half a million, and you can use however many you want towards the ship if you decide to do that, and it's honestly fantastic. It's a great way to scale the investment of the player while being as fair as possible. I've always enjoyed the Missouri's way of working in the game. It is a great ship. If they live up to the Missouri's free XP model, we should be getting a great experience that is successful. If it doesn't, obviously people will be like, ripped off. I could have used that free XP to just skip all the way to tier 7. That is a risk. That is absolutely a risk, Wargaming. By putting this out at the same time as the British Battleship Line, it must be at least good. Otherwise, anyone who invested that kind of free XP is going to be saying to themselves, why didn't I just put it in the main line Or why didn't I keep it for something else? That is the risk. And hopefully, community contributors like myself and others will put in the time to understand the Nelson before the ship line is launched and before the free XP purchase is available, because that is going to be a very important justification, you know. There are, of course, people who are going to keep 1 million free XP and go all the way to tier 10, but they are extremely rare. Extremely rare. I will probably be one of those players that picks up the Nelson and perhaps keeps free XP to get out of the stock variant of the ships. I could work with the main ships and go through them, but I cannot work with a lot of stock. Stock ships are notorious for being bad. But this will be the first time that Wargaming is going to launch a line and basically compete with the main line's free XP usage for a potential premium that is going to fall under a very quirky playstyle. Is the quirky playstyle going to work out? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm excited to try it out. I just want people to understand that that's where the Nelson went. It's not completely gone. I really don't think the portal did it justice because, you know, obviously you could act like we're in a bubble and none of this is at all visible for players to look at. Or you could just assume everyone has seen every leak and you're aware of this and you just want to reassure people, if you're interested in the Nelson, we will have a way for you to pick her up. That's it. That's all that needs to be said. Maybe I'm off base. I think I read the article correctly. I don't see any mention of HMS Nelson. So I just want to make sure you guys know. And there's going to be some special missions to jumpstart your progression in the tree before it's released. I am very interested to hear more about that. They said that throughout the month of August, they will be introducing these missions, and there'll be obviously more information that comes from it. So just look out for that. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.